Hey, what's going on, friends? This is Paul Hutchings. Hope you're having a great day. I'm coming to you with another episode of The Good Parts, a daily social media show where I go live roughly once a day. My goal is Monday through Friday. I apologize, I missed a couple of days last week in the middle of a big internal product launch we were doing. But in any case, I'm excited to share with you a quick little story that happened to me over the weekend. That, as I wrote in the title and the description, I accidentally unleashed my secret prospecting formula on this lady, on this random stranger. And next thing I knew, I was walking out of the cell phone store with my new cell phone. I got a new iPhone 15 Pro Max. So, woohoo, shout out for my new cell phone. Pretty cool. I'm enjoying it so far. But I walked out with my cell phone, and the lady that was helping me wrote her phone number down because she wanted to learn more about my business. And so in today's video, I want to tell you the story because I think there are some good lessons here. And in the process of telling you the story, I'm going to be sharing with you this prospecting formula, which, by the way, I think I'm not sure, but this may have been the very first person I've ever prospected in public, about my business. I mean, my story in home business has been, okay, start with all my friends and family, did that, and then I went into lead generation, usually where I was generating leads and connecting with people over the phone. So it has definitely not been my practice to go to networking meetings, to go prospect a waitress at the restaurants that I was at. It's definitely never been really something that I've done. And so this experience is kind of unique in that it wasn't my intention for this to happen, but it happened. And it has some lessons here. So Bill Fever says, show us the phone. I would show you the phone, but I'm on the phone, Bill, so I can't show it to you, unfortunately. Maybe I'll snap a photo or something later. Ron says, good morning. Good morning, Ron. Thanks for tuning in. And if you guys are live or on the replay, if you do me a favor and comment below, I'd appreciate it. All right, so here's how the story went. As I mentioned, I went in to get a new cell phone. And so my son, Kyson, who is 14, was there with me. And my thought was, I'm just going to stop and pick up the phone and be on my way. Well, 3 hours later, it took longer to get the phone than I had planned. But while we're while we're there at the cell phone store, I'm talking to this lady that was helping me. And I noticed as I was talking to this lady, she was very personable, she was very kind. We were kind of making jokes and making each other laugh. And while we were getting all of this phone stuff set up, I was asking her questions about her life. And it turns out that she moved to Idaho from California. And this is just like a kind of a random lesson or side note that I thought was cool. So in Idaho, where I live, one of the things that's happened here in my area over the last 5 years or so is we have had a huge influx of people from California, from Washington, from Oregon, but mainly California, I think, has been the biggest number of people moving into our local area. And it's caused the real estate prices to skyrocket. And there has been, hey, Karen, thanks for tuning in. There has been a little bit of animosity, maybe, from a lot of my our local residents here in Idaho towards people from California because it's like getting more crowded. A lot of families have kids and now parents are worried that, how are my kids ever going to find a house? That the house prices are so high. We were actually at a concert one time, and the artist from stage made a comment about, how many of you are from Idaho, born in all, here all your life? And, a lot of hands went up and cheers. And then the artist said, and how about, who are you, where are the Californians in the house? And like, there was this boo that came out over the audience. And so this is just some of what's happening in my local area. Well, anyway, back to this story, this lady that was helping me with my cell phone, as I was asking her about her story, come to find out, she had moved here from California and San Diego, actually. And I said, oh, San Diego, how'd you leave like the best weather place in the country to come to Idaho, where we've got snow and freezing cold and so on and so forth? Brandy Payne says, good morning, Paul. Hey, good morning, Brandy. Good to see you. And so what she said was, She said she had a young son. Her son is now 22 months old. And she said that where she lived, it was getting so bad. And I said, "What do you mean so bad?" She said, "Well, here's a couple examples." She said, I worked at a luxury hotel, and one day I was off work that day, but while I was off work, some person came up to the hotel and started shooting people. And I said, "Are you serious?" And she said, "Yeah." She said the valet got shot and killed. And she normally was working right where that valet was working. And then the shooter just kept going up and down and shooting people. And she's like, "I was just fortunate to not be there that day." And I was like, "Whoa, I didn't know that stuff happened in San Diego." She said, "It's terrible." She said, "That happened." She said within about the same 2-week time frame, somebody jumped off a building 2 blocks away from where I worked, landed on a woman that was walking down the street. They both died. And I was like, "Whoa, that's terrible." And she started telling me about all these awful things that were happening where she lived. And she said, "I want my son to be a good person, and I want my son to have a good life." And so she grabbed her son, and moved, just like left and came here to Idaho. And so the random little lesson there is that, when you hear people's stories, like for anyone who's living in Idaho, that's like, those Californians, it's like you have empathy for people when you hear their story, and you hear like, wow, I actually admire you for doing something so hard, packing up your kid and leaving the state, the only home you've ever known, and getting somewhere to create a better life. So anyway, I was as we were going through this conversation, Janine says, "Grand Rising." Hey, Grand Rising, Janine. Thanks for saying hello. As we were going through this conversation, I was just asking questions and listening. And the other thing that, I started asking her about, how long have you worked here? What did you do before? Of course, you worked in the hospitality industry. And do you like it? And how are things with your bosses? And we started joking about, like, the customer service issues with some cell phone companies are not the best. And we had similar experiences, so we were laughing about those. And anyway, come to find out that she likes to pay, but she works a lot. And she's got this son that's in daycare all throughout the week. And she's got family that takes care of the son on the weekends. And I just picked up the sense that she might want to do something more, something different. And I said, "Do you have any other options in mind?" And she said, "Well, I thought about doing real estate, but I know that if I do real estate, like if I become an agent, I mean, I'm gonna have to put everything into that if I want to be successful, and I'm not sure it's something that I could do while working this full-time job here." And I said, "Have you ever thought about," and all at this point, all I'm doing is just being a normal human and asking questions and listening and just hearing what's going on in this lady's life. I had no intention of ever saying anything about my business at all, like furthest thing from my mind. But as I listened to her story, I started to think, wow, like she might actually really be able to benefit from what I have. And on top of that, as I already mentioned, she was personable, kind, good communicator, funny. And I'm thinking, not only could she potentially benefit from what I have, but she probably could do what I'm doing. And so that led me to this question. I said, "Have you ever thought about being an entrepreneur?" And she said, "Yeah, well, that would be fun, but I don't know what I would do." And I said, "Have you ever heard about affiliate marketing?" And she said, "No, what's that?" Can you believe that? There are people in the world that have never heard of affiliate marketing. So I just gave her a quick little intro of what affiliate marketing is. I said, well, it's where, a company has products and services, and you can be a representative for those products and services, introducing other people to them. And when you gather customers, and I said, and by the way, there's no time requirement. You don't have to punch a clock. You can work it whenever you want, really. Like it fits perfectly within your schedule. and then the company will pay you a commission for the customers that you gather. And preferably, if you're offering something that has a recurring aspect to it, you're building residual income with the goal of being able to disconnect your time from your money so you can stay home more with your son, and she started to light up as I was talking about this. And she's like, well, tell me about your products. And then I started to almost make the mistake of telling her about all of our products, but I caught myself. And I said, well, how about this? I'll send you some information if you want to know more. And so she said, yeah, I would love to know more. And so she wrote her phone number on my little bill, and I walked out of the store with that. I'm going to check the comments here real quick. Danny Krenz says, my girlfriend just moved from California to Wisconsin to be with me. She doesn't like winter though, but better cost of living. Better cost of living. Yeah, I hear that. Janine says, been there, done that. My hubby took a peace officer job in a small town in Nebraska. It really wasn't pretty at first. We got all the questions. Where are you from? Where are you here? Yeah, we all learned to love each other. So Janine's been there, where she moves into a new location and doesn't feel like super welcome. So that's like a big one, guys. Wherever we're at, whatever we're doing, if we can help people feel welcome, I just think that's a really good thing to do. Bill Fever says, you sense the need in this lady's life. That has happened to me before. Very cool. Yeah, that's exactly it. And so here's the prospecting formula. So I've done this many, 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 many times throughout my career. I just don't think I've ever done it like face to face to someone I just met in public. But here's the formula. Make a friend, number one. Find a need, number two. Suggest a solution, number three. That's what I did. I just went in with the goal of making a friend. While I was making a friend, I was listening, seeing if I could find a need or an unfulfilled desire. And I wasn't even trying to do that. It just happened. I guess I'm just kind of used to doing this. And then when I heard that need, I offered a solution, and I shared with you how I offered the solution. So I still need to send her a text and present what we have in the best way. But I just thought that was a cool little story. And the whole time my son was there too. So that was an added little bonus to this story, is that my son got to see this whole conversation, and he got to hear this lady's story, and he got to see me give an invitation to take a look at what I'm doing. And I just thought that was cool that my son gets to see that different way to grow an income, that different way to serve people, that different way to exist in the world in a state of prosperity. So that is my message, guys and gals. I hope you got some value from it. Thanks to everyone who tuned in today. Janine says, and thank you for making her welcome. Yeah, my pleasure. I actually said, welcome to Idaho. Welcome to Idaho. Kevin says hello. So anyway, I do these every day. If you got value from this and want to get more content from me, I call these the good parts, where I strive to share one good part from my life and or business in an effort to share ideas that can help all of us really be more prosperous, grow residual income, have success in whatever it is that we're doing. And so I'd love to invite you to follow me on social media if you're finding me for the first time. And if you want to be sure you get all of my future content, I'd love to offer you a free gift that may actually match up with my message today. So Ari says, amazing story. Thank you so much. Kevin says, love these. Thank you so much, Kevin. And Ari says, tuning in from Wisconsin. All right. Shout out to my brother Cheesehead over in Wisconsin. So I actually put together a free training called onlinerecruitingsecrets.com. 7 free videos along with an ebook that has more in-depth training on this process that I shared today, but also talks a little bit more about marketing, lead generation, messaging, how you can on the internet position your business in a way where it'll be attractive to the people who are looking for it. And you can draw those people into you. I've got a lot of additional tips on connecting with people, communicating, closing strategies. And so if you want that, you can get free access to it by visiting onlinerecruitingsecrets.com. That's onlinerecruitingsecrets.com. And just put your name and email in, and you'll get instant access to that bootcamp. And you'll also be subscribed to my email list, and be sure to get all of my future content. So that's it, guys. Hope you have an awesome day. Get out there, take action, go for your dreams, be kind to people, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now.